The disappointment in myself still lingers to this day, haunting my memories like a specter that refuses to be exorcised. It was a moment that revealed my weakness, my lack of courage when my little sister, Mary, needed me. The scene plays out in my mind, a painful reminder of the time I failed to stand up for her, tarnishing the bond we shared. Little sister Mary was born into this mysterious, wonderful world during the Christmas season of 1963. I was in 6th grade when she made it home for the first time. Our father Perry had just received a write-up in the daily newspaper announcing his latest promotion at the potlatch mill where many residents worked. She came home to sister, Sandra, who had been born 2 years earlier, my older brother John and me. Little Mary loved to laugh and seemed to enjoy the attention of me teasing her. Our living room had been transformed, because of Dad's recent raise, with the arrival of an electric organ, a new addition that filled our home with melodies and the promise of artistic expression. Dad had taken up the instrument, mastering a few tunes, while my younger siblings eagerly followed suit. Mary had displayed an unexpected talent, her small hands dancing across the keys with joy and innocence, playing happy, childish tunes like Row, 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 Your Boat and This Old Man. One fateful day, Aunt Nona paid us a visit. Known for her obnoxious loud voice and peculiar laugh, she possessed a kind heart that was often overshadowed by her overwhelming presence. I stood in the nearby kitchen, peanut butter sandwich in hand, and observed the unfolding scene. Mary had been engrossed in watching cartoons on the television, munching on a bag of Cheetos, when Mom called her to perform. I could sense her reluctance, the unease that settled upon her innocent shoulders. With a heavy sigh and a shuffle, she reluctantly made her way to the organ, resembling a cowboy walking to his own hanging. She sat down, her fingers hesitantly caressing the keys, and began to play. It didn't take long for the first mistake to slip from her fingers, a sour note that disrupted the harmony of the room. Aunt Nona, in her typical boisterous voice, exclaimed,
"Oh, my goodness!"
followed by a raucous laugh that reverberated through the space. Each subsequent error was met with the same reaction, a piercing series of sounds that shattered Mary's confidence, like glass shattering on a cold tile floor. My heart ached for Mary. Her vulnerability laid bare for everyone to witness. I should have rushed to her defense, shielded her from Aunt Nona's insensitive remarks, but I found myself paralyzed by my own fear of confrontation. I sat there, my sandwich forgotten and half-eaten, silently watching as my little sister's spirit crumbled under the weight of Aunt Nona's unaware insensitivity. Nona was in many ways a sweet, kind lady. Tears welled up in Mary's eyes, staining her cheeks as she desperately tried to hold back the torrent of emotions threatening to engulf her. In a feeble attempt to alleviate the situation, Aunt Nona exclaimed,
"Oh, it's okay."
Her words, though well-intentioned, only exacerbated Mary's distress, pushing her further into the depths of despair. With a broken spirit, Mary fled down the hallway and sought solace within the confines of her room. The adults, oblivious to the magnitude of the pain inflicted upon Mary, carried on as if nothing had happened. They sat at the table, indulging in a piece of cake and sipping their coffee, while I stood there, my head shaking in disapproval. In that moment, I realized the gravity of my failure. I had forsaken my duty as her older brother, the one who was supposed to protect and support her unconditionally. I saw what was going to happen before it did. There is the shame. I saw it and let it happen anyway. I never did that ever again in my entire life. I stood up after my yellow belly slip, for to not prevent suffering is a terrible and unsatisfying way to live. Mary never played the organ again, her love for music silenced by that one traumatic incident. The joy and innocence she once associated with the instrument were replaced by the scars of that day. I should have been her champion, her unwavering support, but instead, I became her chump, choosing silence over standing up for what was right. I've wondered about that scene for years, haunted by the realization that sometimes scenes are necessary, that discomfort and confrontation are worthwhile when it comes to protecting the ones we love. I failed to grasp the importance of being Mary's advocate, and for that, I will forever harbor remorse. But I do believe I have made good from the lesson. I have stuck up for many since that winter day. Now, it may seem that I am exaggerating a simple situation that didn't turn out right, but some of life's best lessons have come my way like this. It was an important thing to learn and made me a better, more compassionate teacher. I now understand that being a champion means more than just protecting someone in moments of physical danger. It means standing up for them, defending their worth and dignity when their spirit is under attack. There is also another lesson to be harvested from this short tale. It could seem proper and would be easy to blame Aunt Nona, which would be an unkind and ignorant error. Yes, she wore dresses that looked like they were sewed from some family's living room drapes, talked incessantly, and in a loud, many would say too loud, voice, and her laughter could make sounds that made all the dogs bark in the neighborhood. But there was a reason. She lost most of her hearing from a childhood illness called scarlet fever that almost ended her life at age 5. She was loud because she couldn't hear herself. Judging without all the information is wrong. Mary recovered and continued on with her oftentimes happy, content ways. When it became her turn to act as an aunt, she became an all-star. I watched with astonishment and appreciation when she served my son her 2 small kids homemade maple bars and bacon for breakfast one summer morning. She may have given up on music, but she was a maestro in many other ways. Her husband, Kevin, and sister Mary have been like another set of parents to my boy. For that, no words can be found to illustrate the appreciation I feel for them. Cheers.